sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
Hey everyone, Oscar night 2025.
Yeah.
Even if you're not like a total film fanatic,
Right.
Glued to the red carpet,
Sure.
this year's ceremony has got this unique buzz around it, and we're going to unpack why that is.
Okay.
We've got this really fascinating article from CBS News
Oh, cool.
that breaks down all the key moments you need to know about.
Okay.
So let's dive right in.
Let's do it.
Okay, so right off the bat,
Yeah.
what's really striking is, Emilia Pérez just dominating the nominations.
Totally. 13 nominations.
13.
Crime musical about a cartel leader who transitioned.
Ooh.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's generating a lot of buzz.
13 nominations.
Yeah.
That's almost a record.
It is.
It definitely sounds like a bold choice.
Yeah.
Maybe even a risky choice for the Academy.
It could be.
So I'm curious, what's the critical reception been?
Critics are really captivated by it.
Yeah.
They're praising Emilia Pérez for its audacious storytelling and the way it kind of blends this gritty realism with these almost fantastical musical numbers.
Interesting.
It's pushing boundaries, not just with its subject matter, but also its artistic execution.
Right.
And to give you a sense of just how many nominations that is, 13, it just fell short by one nomination to tie the record held by Titanic.
Wow.
All About Eve, La La Land.
Okay.
So, if you're into movies that are pushing boundaries, this is one to watch out for.
Big time. But Emilia Pérez isn't the only one vying for Best Picture.
Absolutely not.
What else is out there?
We've got The Brutalist.
Oh.
It's generating a lot of buzz. And then, of course, there is Wicked.
Of course.
The film adaptation of the hit Broadway musical.
Right.
That's a major player.
It's gotta be.
And then there are a few kind of dark horse nominees in the mix, like A Complete Unknown, starring Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, interesting.
That one's attracting some attention.
Okay, A Complete Unknown.
Yeah.
Added to the watch list.
I like it.
Gotta check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about acting.
Yeah.
CBS highlighted some really fascinating pairings this year.
Totally.
What stood out to you?
Well, I think Best Actor is really interesting this year.
Okay.
Adrien Brody is back in the Oscar race with The Brutalist.
Oh, wow.
He's going up against some pretty stiff competition, Timothée Chalamet in A Complete Unknown.
Right, yeah. Adrien Brody back in the running.
I know.
So exciting. What about Best Actress?
Best Actress, well, a lot of people are anticipating Cynthia Erivo's performance as Elphaba in Wicked.
Oh, wow.
She's got a powerhouse voice.
She does.
Incredible stage presence. So people are expecting a really memorable performance.
I've heard her sing, and she's got the pipes for sure. The article also mentioned Karla Sofía Gascón's nomination for Emilia Pérez.
Yes.
What's the significance there?
Well, this is really noteworthy.
Okay.
Gascón's a transgender actress, and she's playing a transgender character in the film. So it really speaks to the growing emphasis on authentic representation in Hollywood.
Yeah.
This is a major step forward.
Okay.
Not only for the film industry,
right,
but for transgender visibility overall.
Right. It sounds like Emilia Pérez is really pushing boundaries.
It really is.
On multiple levels.
On multiple levels. Let's lighten things up for a sec.
Okay, yeah.
The CBS article mentioned that the host this year is Conan O'Brien.
Conan.
I have a feeling he's going to bring a very different energy to the ceremony.
For sure. He's known for his sharp wit, self-deprecating humor, which is pretty different from the more traditional, even-keeled hosts we've seen in the past.
Right.
I mean, his comedic style can be unpredictable, even a bit chaotic.
Okay. It'll be interesting to see how that translates to the usually polished Oscar atmosphere.
Yeah, it's like mixing oil and water.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get.
Right. But he's got this knack for poking fun at the establishment.
He does.
And let's be real.
Yeah.
Hollywood can take itself a little too seriously sometimes.
For sure. Do you think his style will clash with that traditional Oscar formality?
It's definitely a gamble. But Conan's also a master improviser.
Right.
So I think he'll find a way to balance his signature humor with the, gravitas of the event.
Yeah.
Plus, he might just bring in a younger, more internet-savvy audience.
Oh, interesting.
Who wouldn't typically tune into the Oscars.
Yeah, it's a bold choice.
It is.
I'm here for it. Okay, so anyone thinking of watching the show, how can they tune in?
So the ceremony will be airing live on ABC at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific.
Got it.
But what's really interesting is that this year, there's a new way to watch. Hulu is streaming the ceremony live.
A streaming option. That's huge.
It is.
So is this like a sign of the times?
I think so.
Like people are consuming content differently?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Streaming has become like the dominant force in entertainment.
Right.
And the Oscars are clearly adapting.
Okay.
It's a savvy move. And it could potentially broaden their audience in a big way.
It makes sense. And if you're all about that red carpet glamour, coverage starts 6:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC.
Okay.
Of course, no matter where you watch.
Yeah.
It's hard to ignore that the Oscars are being held less than 2 months after those devastating wildfires in the LA area.
Yeah.
It feels poignant.
It does.
Almost like a symbol of resilience.
It's a really powerful reminder of the enduring spirit of creativity and the arts, even when facing such adversity.
Yeah.
It speaks to that human need to come together to find comfort and inspiration in stories. Splish.
Especially when the world feels uncertain.
Totally. It's definitely a lot to think about.
It is.
So Emilia Pérez is like the front runner with its record-breaking nominations. We've got this fascinating mix of acting talent.
Right.
Conan O'Brien is set to shake things up as host.
Yes.
And there are more ways than ever to actually watch the ceremony.
It's true.
But before we jump into the specifics of all the other categories, let's take a step back for a moment.
Sure. You know what I find so fascinating is the range of films nominated this year.
Yeah.
We've got these big epic spectacles like Dune, Part 2, but then also these really intimate character-driven stories, like A Complete Unknown, Conclave.
Yeah.
And this diversity in genres and themes really suggests there's like a real vibrancy in cinema.
Okay.
A willingness to explore narratives that are different, push those artistic boundaries.
It's like a buffet for movie lovers.
It is. And we haven't even touched on
Right.
best adapted screenplay, original songs, cinematography.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff. But you know our listeners.
Yeah.
They love those hidden gems.
Oh, for sure.
So from all the nominees we haven't discussed yet, is there one that really caught your eye?
If we're talking hidden gems, I would have to say Nickel Boars for Best Picture.
Nickel Boys. Okay.
Based on that powerful novel by Colson Whitehead.
Yeah.
Explores the horrors of a reform school.
Right.
In the Jim Crow South.
It's a tough watch, I imagine.
It is. It is a challenging watch.
Yeah.
But it's like a masterclass in storytelling.
Okay.
And a very stark reminder of the importance of confronting difficult truths.
Adding that to my list right now. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about the films themselves.
Right.
But before we completely lose ourselves in the world of cinema.
Sure, yeah.
Let's bring it back to our listener for a second.
Okay.
Why should someone who might not be a film buff care about the Oscars at all?
That's a good question. You know, the Oscars might seem like this self-congratulatory event for Hollywood insiders, but they actually serve as a cultural barometer.
Interesting.
You know, the films that are nominated and the ones that win awards often reflect the social, political, and artistic currents of our time.
Yeah.
They spark important conversations, they challenge our perspectives, and help us understand the world around us in new ways.
So even if you haven't seen the nominated films, paying attention to the Oscars can give you a snapshot of what stories are resonating with audiences and critics at this moment in time.
Yeah, it's like a window into the zeitgeist.
A window into the zeitgeist. I like that.
Good.
And beyond that, the Oscars can be a fun, engaging spectacle.
Totally.
Right.
The fashion, the music, the acceptance speeches, it's all part of the experience.
That's all part of the experience.
Who doesn't love a good red carpet moment?
Right.
Or a heartfelt acceptance speech?
Totally agree. Plus, it's just fun to have an opinion on who should win.
Exactly.
Even if your vote doesn't actually count.
It's true.
It's like friendly competition.
Yeah, it's fun to talk about.
Among friends. Speaking of opinions.
Yes.
What stands out to you about this year's nominations?
Well, I'm curious. What stands out to you?
What surprises you?
Yeah.
Any snubs?
Yeah. Are there any snubs?
Or personal favorites?
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Feel free to share your reactions with us on social media.
Yeah.
Or leave a comment on our website.
Okay, awesome. But before you do that, is there one final piece of wisdom you'd like to leave our listener with before they dive into Oscar night?
I think the most important thing is to go beyond simply watching the Oscars.
Okay.
Experience them.
What do you mean?
Engage with the films, the performances, the themes. Talk about them with your friends, family, colleagues.
Yeah.
Let the stories really spark your imagination and inspire you to see the world in new and unexpected ways.
I love that. And remember, even if you don't watch the whole ceremony, you can always check out that full list of nominees.
You got it.
And those infamous snubs in that CBS News article that we mentioned.
Right.
It's a great resource if you want to get a quick overview
for sure
of the whole Oscar landscape.
Exactly.
Okay, but now for the big question.
Hit me.
Will you be tuning in to the Oscars tonight?
I'm going to be watching, for sure. Always am, I love to see what films and artists are recognized.
Right.
And this year, with such a diverse and intriguing slate of nominees, I'm especially excited.
I can't wait to see who takes home those coveted statues either.
Yeah.
But before we get swept up, in the excitement of the awards themselves, there's one more crucial aspect of the Oscars we need to explore. We've talked about the films, the actors, the music. But there's this whole other element to the Oscars that I feel always generates buzz.
Oh, totally. The fashion.
The fashion.
Yeah. The red carpet is
its
own runway show.
It is.
Where artistry meets extravagance. It's a chance for designers to showcase their creativity and for the stars to express their personal style.
And let's be real, sometimes the fashion choices are more memorable than the awards themselves.
Totally. It's all part of the spectacle.
It's all part of the spectacle.
The Oscars are film, fashion, music. It's a true multimedia experience.
Yeah. And, with the ceremony being held so soon after the wildfires, I imagine there will be a heightened sense of solidarity and support.
I think so, too.
Within the Hollywood community.
I think we're going to see a lot of, maybe subtle, maybe even overt nods to the resilience of the city.
Right.
And its people. I mean, fashion can be a really powerful way.
It can be.
To express empathy and solidarity.
Yeah, it's amazing how something is as seemingly frivolous as fashion can actually convey such profound messages.
It can. But speaking of messages, what do you think is the most important message that the Oscars send? Not just to the film industry, but to the world at large.
I think it's a reminder of the power of storytelling.
I agree.
These films, whether they're big epic blockbusters or these intimate character studies, they all have this ability to transport us, to make us feel,
they do,
to challenge our perspectives.
Yeah, they can spark conversations, inspire change, and ultimately connect us as human beings.
Yeah, a good film can stay with you long after those credits roll.
It's true.
And maybe prompt you to think differently about the world or even yourself.
Totally. And I think, the Oscars, by recognizing that excellence in filmmaking, they're kind of celebrating the art of storytelling itself.
It's true.
It's a reminder that stories matter.
Yeah.
They have this power to shape our understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
That's a beautiful sentiment.
Yeah.
And it's one that really resonates, especially now when it feels like our world is so divided and uncertain.
Stories can help bridge those divides.
Yeah.
Remind us of our shared humanity.
They can. So as you're getting ready to enjoy the Oscars tonight, I hope you'll take a moment to appreciate the artistry, the passion, and the sheer, human effort that goes into creating these films.
I agree. Yeah. And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe one of this year's Oscar winners will become your new favorite movie.
That's true. Or maybe it'll inspire you to go out and tell your own story.
That's a great point.
That's a great note to end on.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Of course.
Into the 2025 Oscars.
Yeah, this was fun.
We'll be back soon
Okay.
with another fascinating topic
Oh.
to explore. But until then,
Yeah.
happy viewing.
Happy viewing.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get